Family, let me tell you something that will set your soul free today. Not every delay is a denial. Not every closed door is rejection. And not every pause in your journey is punishment. Sometimes the delay you are experiencing is God's way of protecting you from something you cannot yet see. You see, we live in a world where we crave immediacy. We want prayers answered now. We want promises fulfilled now. We want breakthroughs to show up instantly. And when it doesn't happen in our timing, we start to question God's goodness, His love, His faithfulness. But what if the very thing you are labeling as a God forgot me is actually the evidence that God has remembered you? Think about it. Protection rarely feels comfortable. If God is keeping you from stepping into a relationship, an opportunity, or even a season that looks good but is not aligned with His will, it might feel like He's withholding, but He is shielding you. Shielding you from heartbreak, shielding you from unnecessary battles, shielding you from traps the enemy has set along the way. Delay is God's way of saying, "A child, I see what you cannot see." You're frustrated about why you're still single, why the job hasn't come through, why the business hasn't taken off, but you don't know the destruction He blocked on the other side of that yes. If God opened that door prematurely, it could crush you instead of bless you. His delays are not to discourage you, but to prepare you, to strengthen your character, to refine your discernment, and to increase your capacity so that when the promise does arrive, you can sustain it. I need you to reframe your waiting season. Stop calling it wasted time and start calling it training ground. Because in the waiting, you're learning obedience. In the waiting, you're cultivating trust. In the waiting, you're discovering that your identity is not attached to outcomes, but to the one who holds your future. Delay is not an absence of God's hand. It's the proof of His hand. If He let everything fall into place on your schedule, you would miss the beauty of His timing. Timing that not only considers you, but every life connected to yours. Timing that doesn't just give you what you want, but ensures you can carry it with grace and wisdom. So today I want to encourage you, don't despise the delay. Don't curse the waiting room of your destiny. Because this delay is not abandonment, it is alignment. It is God protecting you until the appointed time. When that time comes, the doors will swing open, the answers will unfold, and you will look back and say, if it had happened any sooner, it would have destroyed me. But God protected me in the delay. Beloved, what looks like a delay is actually divine protection. Hold on. Trust Him. And when His timing collides with your faith, you'll understand why you had to wait. When we think of delays in our lives, our first reaction is usually frustration. We feel overlooked, forgotten, or even punished because things did not go according to the timeline we had carefully planned. We often mistake God's silence as His absence, and we interpret His timing as a refusal. But the truth is that delay is not denial. It is God shielding you from unseen harm. This is a hard truth to embrace because it confronts our desire for control. We want answers right now. We want doors open immediately. We want dreams fulfilled instantly. But what if the very thing you're calling a delay is actually divine protection working on your behalf? Imagine a parent walking with their child on a busy street. The child sees the road clear for a moment and tries to run across, eager to get to the other side. But the parent pulls them back firmly, holding them in place. To the child, that feels like unnecessary restraint, maybe even unkindness. But the parent sees what the child cannot. A car coming around the corner at full speed. That moment of being pulled back is not rejection, it is protection. In the same way, when God holds you back from what you thought should already be yours, He is seeing dangers that your eyes cannot detect. He is blocking things that could wound your spirit, derail your destiny, or shatter your heart. This is why the waiting is so confusing. Because we only see a part, but God sees the whole. We only measure by days and months, but God is measuring by eternity. The delay is his way of ensuring that you are in the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reasons. When you try to push ahead of his timing, you step out of his covering, and that's when you become vulnerable to unnecessary battles. His delay is his way of keeping you hidden until the moment is safe and right. Think of how many times you wanted something so badly. Maybe a relationship, maybe a job, maybe an opportunity. And when it didn't happen, you were devastated. But years later, you look back and realize if you had gotten what you wanted, it would have destroyed you. That heartbreak you thought you couldn't survive was actually God saving you from greater pain. That job you didn't get was God saving you from a toxic environment that would have drained your soul. That door that slammed shut was God redirecting you to the one that would lead you to your real purpose. In the moment, it felt cruel, but in hindsight, it was protection. The problem is that protection rarely feels good. It feels like being left out, overlooked, or stuck. But think of a seed buried underground. It is kept in darkness, pressed by soil, and unable to move. Yet it is in that hidden place that roots grow strong enough to sustain the fruit it will one day bear. If the seed were exposed too soon, it would wither. The soil is its delay, and the delay is its protection. You too are in seasons where God is covering you, shielding you from exposure until you are ready to carry what He promised. Delay is not about God withholding from you. It is about God keeping things from you that could damage you. It is about Him keeping you from people who are not truly for you, from environments that would corrupt your character, from blessings that would turn into burdens because you were not yet equipped to handle them. His delay says, I love you too much to give you something that would crush you. His delay is proof that He is watching over every detail of your life. Sometimes you are praying for something and God's answer is not a no, but a not yet. And that a not yet is where most of us struggle. We don't mind a clear no, but we wrestle with waiting. Yet that space of waiting is where God does His deepest work. It is in the delay that He strengthens your faith, that He stretches your patience, that He teaches you to rely on His wisdom instead of your own. Without delay, you would never learn trust. Without delay, you would never know the beauty of His timing. Without delay, you would run into situations that your heart, your mind, and your spirit are not ready for. So, when you feel delayed, resist the temptation to complain or to compare your journey with others. What looks like acceleration in someone else's life may actually be their destruction in disguise. And what feels like delay in your life may actually be the greatest protection you will ever experience. God knows your limits. He knows what you can carry. He knows where traps have been set for you. His delay is His shield. When you understand this, you begin to see waiting differently. You stop seeing it as punishment and begin to see it as preservation. You stop questioning if God has forgotten you and begin to trust that He is watching over you more carefully than you can imagine. The delay becomes a sign that His eyes are on you, His hand is over you, and His love is guarding you. When God withholds something you have been asking for, it is not because He delights in watching you struggle. It is because His timing is perfect and His wisdom is far greater than yours. There are blessings that, if received too early, can crush you instead of build you. What you call delay is often God's way of protecting you from carrying something prematurely. Timing is the difference between a gift that lifts you and a gift that breaks you. Think about a child who begs to drive a car. The car itself is not bad. It is not evil. It is in fact a blessing that provides mobility and freedom. But if that child were given the keys before maturity, what is meant to be a blessing could end in tragedy. It is not that the parent is cruel for withholding. It is that the parent knows the weight of responsibility that comes with the blessing. In the same way, when God delays something in your life, it is not because the blessing is bad, but because you are still being prepared to hold it well. The delay is God's safeguard, ensuring that what is meant to prosper you will not end up destroying you. This is why we cannot measure our lives by someone else's timeline. You see them receiving things quickly, stepping into opportunities, building relationships, achieving goals, and you wonder why you are still waiting. What you don't realize is that the blessing on your life requires a different level of foundation. God is not preparing you just for a moment. He is preparing you for longevity. He is building character, patience, humility, and strength so that when the blessing arrives, it will not slip through your fingers. Without that preparation, even a good thing could become a heavy burden. The truth is, some doors you want open right now would suffocate you if they open too soon. That platform you dream of could expose you before you are ready, and exposure without maturity invites downfall. That relationship you think you cannot live without might turn into chains if you enter it before you've grown in identity and wisdom. That career breakthrough you crave could pull you into environments that test your integrity before your roots are deep enough to withstand temptation. God's timing is not about withholding good things. It is about ensuring that the good things stay good once you have them. Think of it like fruit on a tree. If picked too early, it is bitter and hard, not because it is bad fruit, but because it is not yet ripe. The same fruit, left to ripen in its time, becomes sweet, nourishing, and ready to enjoy. The tree does not rush because the ripening process cannot be skipped. In your life, there are blessings ripening. The delay is not rejection, it is preparation for sweetness. If you force it before its time, you end up with bitterness. But if you wait, you receive something that truly satisfies. Many of us get frustrated with God in seasons of waiting because we confuse delay with abandonment. We assume if it hasn't happened yet, it never will. But that is not how God works. His not now is still a promise that He has something for you, but He will not release it outside of the right season. The blessing is tied to timing, and timing is tied to protection. He knows the weight of what you've been praying for, and He knows what you need to carry it well. There are things you think you are ready for because you see only the surface. You see the joy, the increase, the opportunity. But God sees the hidden battles attached to it, the warfare that will come, the responsibility it carries. He is not only thinking about how much you want it, He is thinking about how much it will require of you. If He gives it to you too soon, it may overwhelm you. If He gives it in His time, it will strengthen you. That is why His timing is always for your good. We often celebrate open doors, but forget that some doors are traps if opened too early. God delays not because He is ignoring you, but because He is guarding you. His timing ensures that the doors you walk through will not only bless you, but also align with His plan for your life. What good is it to gain something now if it costs you your peace, your character, or your future? That is not a blessing, that is bondage dressed as opportunity. The delay keeps you safe from such deceptions. So, when you feel impatient, when you wonder why others are moving ahead while you are still waiting, remember this truth. Blessings are safest when they arrive on God's clock. He is not late, He is not withholding. He is ensuring that when the promise comes, it is not a weight that breaks you, but a gift that builds you. His timing is His love protecting you from carrying what you are not yet ready to hold. When you are in a season of waiting, it is easy to think that your life is on pause, that nothing meaningful is happening, and that somehow time is being wasted. But the truth is, the waiting season is training ground, not wasted time. It is the place where God builds what cannot be seen, the hidden strength, the inner character, the trust and patience that will sustain you when the visible blessings arrive. Waiting is not about idleness, it is about preparation. It is the classroom of destiny where lessons are learned that no shortcut can ever provide. Think of a soldier before going into battle. They don't simply pick up weapons and walk onto the field. They endure long months of training, discipline, and drills that prepare them for the intensity of war. To an outsider, those months might look like delay, but they are essential. Without that training, the soldier would collapse under pressure. In the same way, your waiting season is equipping you for what is ahead. The unseen discipline being built now will sustain you in the unseen battles of the future. We often despise the waiting because it feels like nothing is happening. But so much is happening beneath the surface. Just like a seed planted underground, there is movement and growth that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Roots are spreading deep into the soil, anchoring the seed so that when it breaks through the surface, it can withstand wind, storms, and weight. If the seed broke through too soon without roots, it would topple at the first sign of opposition. In your waiting, God is growing roots in you. He is anchoring you in His word, in faith, in resilience. The delay is not meant to bury you, it is meant to root you. Waiting is also where we learn obedience. When everything is instant, obedience costs little. But when you are asked to wait, when you are told to trust despite silence, that is where obedience becomes real. It is one thing to follow God when you see the way forward. It is another to follow Him when every step feels hidden. Waiting tests and proves the depth of your surrender. It strips away the illusion of control and teaches you to rely on God, not on your own strength or understanding. That is why waiting is never wasted. It is where the most vital transformation takes place. During the waiting, God also deals with the idols in your heart. Many times, the thing you are waiting for has the potential to become the thing you worship if you are not careful. You begin to attach your identity to the promise instead of to the one who promised it. And so God, in His mercy, delays. Not because He doesn't want you to have it, but because He wants you to have Him first. In the waiting, He teaches you that your worth is not in what you are waiting for, but in who you are becoming in Him. This purifies your motives so that when the blessing does arrive, you do not make it your God. The waiting season also cultivates humility. It is easy to think that success comes by your own hand when things happen quickly. But when you have endured years of trusting, praying, and believing, you know that what you receive could only have come from God. Waiting protects you from pride. It ensures that when the breakthrough comes, you will give glory to the one who brought it, not to your own abilities. Waiting humbles you so that you can carry greatness without arrogance, and in the waiting, faith grows. Faith is not strengthened when everything goes your way. It is strengthened when you are asked to believe against the evidence of your circumstances. Every day you choose to trust God while still waiting is a day your faith muscles are growing stronger. Without waiting, faith will remain shallow and fragile. With waiting, faith becomes deep, resilient, unshakable. It is in the unseen, uncertain, and unexplainable moments of waiting that faith matures into something powerful. The waiting season is also where God refines your vision. Often, when you first pray for something, your perspective is narrow. You ask for things based on your immediate desires. But in the waiting, your heart begins to align more with God's heart. He shifts your prayers, widens your perspective, and sharpens your discernment. What you wanted at the beginning of the wait may not even be what you want by the end, because the waiting has transformed you. It has clarified what truly matters and aligned your desires with His will. When you see waiting this way, it changes everything. Instead of despising it, you begin to lean into it. Instead of complaining, you begin to ask God, what are you teaching me here? What are you building in me? Because you realize that nothing is wasted in His hands. Every delay, every silent day, every unanswered prayer is shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. The waiting season is the gym of the Spirit, the soil of growth, the furnace of transformation. It is where hidden things are made strong, where roots go deep, where faith becomes unshakable, where obedience becomes real, and where humility guards your heart. It is not wasted time. It is the most necessary time. Delay is alignment, God preparing you and those connected to your destiny. When we think of delay, we often think of it only in terms of ourselves. We see what we want, what we prayed for, what we expected, and when it does not happen, we assume it is just about our personal waiting. But God's plan is never just about one person. His design for your life is woven into the lives of others. And sometimes the delay is because He is aligning everything so that when the promise manifests, it serves a bigger purpose than you alone. Think of a divine appointment. For that moment to take place, not only do you need to be ready, but the people you are meant to encounter also need to be in position. Sometimes God delays because He is preparing hearts, arranging circumstances, and shifting environments to make room for what He has promised you. You might feel ready, but someone else connected to your breakthrough is not ready yet. God waits until the alignment is complete, because if He answered prematurely, the blessing would not fulfill its intended purpose. There are times when God is protecting you not from harm, but from premature connections. You may be ready for a business opportunity, but the partner He intends to link you with still needs to learn integrity. You may be prepared for marriage, but the person He has for you is still walking through their process of healing. You may be equipped for ministry, but the people who will be impacted by your message are not yet in position to receive it. The delay then is not a punishment. It is divine synchronization. God is aligning multiple moving pieces so that when they finally converge, the impact is far greater than what you could have imagined. Sometimes the delay is about aligning your heart with your purpose. You might think you are ready, but deep inside there are still things God needs to heal, habits He needs to break, perspectives He needs to shift. Without those internal alignments, you will step into your promise, but carry the same limitations that held you back before. The delay is a refining process, removing what cannot go with you into the next season. It is God saying, I am aligning not only your circumstances, but your character, so that when the doors open, you will walk in with clarity and strength. God's alignment is meticulous. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows the relationships that will build you and the ones that will drain you. He knows the places that will nurture your gift and the ones that will suffocate it. So when you feel delayed, you must remember that God is not only aligning things for your immediate comfort, but for your long-term destiny. He is setting the stage for something that will not only bless you, but also touch everyone assigned to your journey. Think about the story of Joseph. His dreams were delayed for years, and along the way he faced betrayal, slavery, and prison. To him, it may have felt like setback after setback. But in reality, God was aligning him with the right people at the right time, so that when famine struck the land, he would be positioned to save nations. The delay was not just about Joseph. It was about his family, about Egypt, about generations to come. In the same way, your delay may be about more than you. It may be about people you have never met, who will one day encounter the fruit of your obedience. The beauty of God's alignment is that it is never wasted. Every detour, every pause, every closed door is part of the orchestration. He is arranging your path so that it intersects with the right opportunities, the right people, and the right timing. Even the things you see as failures can be God's way of redirecting you into alignment. What felt like loss might actually be protection steering you away from what would have derailed your destiny. This is why it is dangerous to compare your timeline with others. You do not know the alignment God is working out in your life. Someone else may seem to be moving faster, but they may not be aligned with their true purpose. You may feel like you are moving slowly, but God is ensuring that when everything unfolds, it will be sustainable, fruitful, and deeply impactful. Delay for you is not the same as delay for someone else, because the assignment on your life is unique, and so is the alignment required to fulfill it. Alignment also means that God is protecting you from distractions disguised as opportunities. Not every open door is your door. Some doors open to detour you, to waste your energy, to pull you away from your assignment. God allows delays so that you do not settle for less than His best. He waits until the door that leads to destiny is ready, and until you are aligned enough to recognize it. Without that alignment, you might run into something that looks like blessing, but is really bondage. So when you are in a season of delay, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin asking, what is God aligning in me and around me? This shift in perspective allows you to see the delay as part of a larger picture, not as wasted time. God is a master strategist. Nothing in your life is random. Every moment of waiting is part of His precise alignment, ensuring that when the breakthrough comes, it connects seamlessly with your purpose and with the people you are called to impact. What feels like postponement is actually divine protection and positioning. The human heart struggles with waiting because delay often feels like being left behind. We measure our worth and progress by time, by milestones, by what we see others achieving. And when our lives don't seem to keep pace, we assume that something has gone wrong. But what if what you call postponement is really God setting you up in a way you cannot yet comprehend? What if every pause is God arranging things behind the scenes so that when you finally step forward, you are exactly where you need to be? Divine protection is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like doors refusing to open no matter how hard you push. Sometimes it looks like relationships ending suddenly, opportunities falling through, or plans unraveling. At the moment, it feels like loss. It feels like rejection. But what you don't see are the snares ahead, the traps hidden in places you were desperate to go. God's hand of protection does not always look like a shield. Sometimes it looks like a locked door. The very unknown you are wrestling with could be the reason you are still standing tomorrow. Positioning is just as important as protection. You can have a blessing, but if you are in the wrong place, you will miss it. Timing and location matter in God's plan. Think about how a chess master moves pieces. To the untrained eye, some moves look unnecessary, even backward. But the master knows every shift is about positioning for victory. God is the master strategist, and when He delays you, He is not forgetting you. He is placing you exactly where you need to be, so that when His appointed moment comes, you are aligned with His perfect will. We often forget that destiny is not just about us. Your life is interwoven with the lives of others. That means God's positioning sometimes requires waiting for someone else to be ready or for circumstances to align beyond your control. You may feel like you are standing still, but in reality, the pieces are moving, aligning, preparing for a divine convergence. When the time comes, what looked like postponement will be revealed as perfect time. Consider how many times in life you were frustrated about a delay, only to look back and realize that it saved you. That missed flight, that job you didn't get, that relationship that ended. What you thought was a setback was actually divine positioning. If you had gotten what you wanted when you wanted it, the outcome would have been destructive. But the delay creates a space for God's hand to redirect you to something greater. The same principle applies in every waiting season. What feels late to you is right on time to God. This is why trust is essential. You cannot see the full picture. You do not know all the moving parts. But God does. He sees tomorrow. He sees next year. He sees 10 years from now. And He arranges delays not to frustrate you, but to protect you, to position you, and to preserve the destiny He placed within you. Faith means learning to rest in this truth, even when your emotions want answers and your heart longs for movement. In moments of delay, it is easy to fall into comparison. You see others moving forward, achieving goals, stepping into things you desire, and you wonder why God has not done the same for you. But what you don't see are the private battles they fight, the consequences of stepping into things prematurely, the burdens they were not prepared to carry. When God delays you, it is not to leave you behind, but to ensure you arrive with strength, wisdom, and stability. Your journey is unique, and so is the timing attached to it. Delays are not detours, they are design. They are part of God's blueprint, carefully crafted so that when everything comes together, it will be undeniable that only His hand could have orchestrated it. The place you are in right now may not look like promise, but it is promise in process. And when the process is complete, you will see why you had to wait. You will see how the postponement was really preparation, how the waiting was really protection, how the pause was really positioning. So instead of despising the delays, embrace them. Instead of questioning God's faithfulness, lean into His wisdom. Instead of assuming you are forgotten, remind yourself that you are being preserved. What looks like postponement is not the end of your story. It is a chapter in the unfolding of God's perfect plan. When the time is right, what has been delayed will no longer be withheld. And when you step into it, you will not only understand why you waited, but you will thank God that you did. Because what felt like postponement was actually His protection, His positioning, and His love guiding you every step of the way.